In this vlog, we're gonna do a lot of experimenting. We're gonna do some things we've never done before. It's only $5. $5! I made a mistake.
I can open it?
Yes. Hello, it's Olivia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, in this video, we're gonna be out and about. So this is gonna be a little crochet vlog, and I'm starting it way later in the day than I anticipated. Essentially, tomorrow is one of my best friend's birthdays, and I just have the inkling to make her a handmade gift. So I want to make her this crochet ruffle hat that I've seen around, but then I also want to pair it with the pattern of like a plaid / checkered hat. So I'm gonna make a checkered ruffle hat for her. So I'm currently on my way to Michael's to buy the yarn. So essentially, this friend of mine, her favorite color is purple, and I don't have any purple yarn. So I'm going to Michael's to buy some purple yarn. And also, I'm gonna do something that I've literally never done before. I've never lined anything that I've made. And so I'm making two stops. I'm going to Michael's for the yarn, and then I'm going to Fabricland to get satin fabric to line the inside of the hat. And we're gonna be experimenting. When it comes to crocheting the hat, that's fine, that's easy, been there, done that. But the lining of the hat, that's different, and I don't know how to do that, but we're gonna try. I remember how I said that I started way later than I anticipated. It is 2:42 p.m. So, and this hat, I made one last night out of red yarn just to like put my concept together, basically combining two patterns. And it took me very many hours, probably like 4 or 5 hours. So I don't know what time of night I'm gonna finish making this hat. Plus the hat that I made last night, I didn't line it. So there's a whole bunch happening. Point is, I'm currently on my way to Michael's to buy this yarn. And in this vlog, we're gonna do a lot of experimenting. We're gonna do some things we've never done before. And the thing is, I need to finish it by tomorrow because tomorrow is her birthday. So yeah, I've given myself a very small time restraint to do something that I've literally never done before. So I'll talk to you when I get to Michael's. Okay, so I'm at Michael's and I want to film inside the store, but like I don't want people to know that I'm filming. So I've devised a plan to be inconspicuous. So I'm wearing a black shirt, right? And the camera that I'm using is my GoPro, which is also black. And then I have this black bag, and I have this like GoPro mount that's a clip. Oh my gosh, I just broke my nail. Oh my gosh. Well, that's unfortunate. I have this GoPro mount that just broke my nail off, but it's a clip. And so essentially, this is the plan. I'm gonna put on this bag, and then I'm going to put on the clip, and then I'm gonna clip my GoPro to this. And because everything's black, I'm hoping that it'll be inconspicuous. But like, let me just show you. So I'm gonna attach my GoPro to myself, and then I'll film myself with my phone to like show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Do you think this looks inconspicuous? Maybe not. Like, there's literally like a mic pointed at you. So maybe not. I don't know, but I want to have like a first person view. So we're gonna try. I don't know if it's like against the rules to like film in a Michael's or something, but I don't know. I just don't want any of the employees to say anything. I don't know. Okay, I chickened out and I'm just gonna use my phone. So last night I was looking online to see which yarn I wanted, and I want the Impeccable acrylic yarn, and I want it in What color is this? This says lavender, but it's not giving lavender. This is giving lavender, but the actual color is called Orchid Bloom. But I like this purple better. So I'm gonna use this mixed with, I believe it's this one called Eggplant. Yeah. So these are my two purples. Or maybe I should use what, no, the Eggplant doesn't look the same as it did online. So I might get lavender and Orchid Bloom, even though this one looks like lavender, but that's not what they called it, but whatever. And then I need a white one. Down here, are these the same? This one says white, this one says white. I think they're the same. I just don't know if this is enough. Oh, each of these is 260 meters, so yeah, it should be enough, I think. Now I need to buy a 5mm hook because this yarn calls for a 5mm hook size, and I do have two 5mm hooks, but the Susan Bates hooks are literally the best thing under the sun for me. And the hook that I use the most is my 6.5. So I have one of these at home, and it's literally my favorite hook in the history of the universe. But now I need one of these. And yes, I could buy the pack that has all of these for $14.99 instead of buying one for $4.49. But I have literally no use for these other sizes. So I'd rather spend, this might sound stupid, but I'd rather spend $8 or $9 on 2 hooks than $15 on 6 hooks when I know I'm only going to use 2 out of the 6. So buying individual hooks is a lot more expensive than just buying packs, but I literally have no use for a 3.75, 4, 5.5, and a 6. I only have a use for the 5 and the 6.5. So yes, if in the long run I end up slowly collecting all of these, then I'll end up paying way more than if I just bought the pack. But right now I'm just buying this. So I didn't end up using my inconspicuous setup, so I ended up breaking my nail on this thing for no reason. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It'll grow back. So quick yarn haul. You guys already know what I bought. I got the Loops and Threads Impeccable Acrylic. I got 3 skeins of it in the colors Orchid Bloom, Lavender, and White. But can you not agree that this looks like lavender and this does not? I don't know why this isn't called lavender, but whatever. I'm not in charge of naming things. Plus I got my 5mm hook, and later in this vlog, I'll explain to you why this 5mm hook is better than the 2 that I already have. And all in all, this ended up costing $26.40. It would have been $28.77, but whenever you go onto the Michaels website, at least for the past 2 months, they've always had 30% off of one item for in-store purchases. So it's one item per day. So if hypothetically I wanted to finesse the system, I could have bought this one day and gotten 30% off. And then the next day, 30% off. And then the next day, and the next day. I could have come 4 days in a row and gotten 30% off of each individual item, but that's so much effort. And then the amount that I saved in discounts, I spent in gas driving back and forth to Michael's. So probably not the best idea. But anyways, the point is, you're gonna get 30% off of the most expensive item that you buy. So this was like $4 and some change, and these 3 were $6.99. So then it just took 30% off of one of them, which is why the price went down. So yeah, I spent $26 so far. Now I have to go to Fabricland and buy the satin fabric for the inside. I don't think I'm going to film inside of Fabricland because like when it comes to Michael's, I come here all the time. I know exactly where the yarn is. So it's not like I need to like ask anybody for help. Meanwhile, I've never been to a Fabricland before, so I'm going to have to ask for help from people who work there, and like I don't want to like film them or anything like that. So I don't think I'm gonna get footage from Fabricland, but I will show you what I've bought once I get it. I don't know how this works. I found something that I want, but I don't know how to get part of it. Excuse me. If I found one, do I just carry it over to the car?
And take it on the cutting table.
Thank you. Hi. Can I get 1 meter of this?
Just 1 meter?
Yes. Or can I just see how much 1 meter is?
What are you making?
I just want to line the inside of a hat, so it's very small.
You don't have to buy 1 meter.
Okay.
You can buy less. Can I give you half? Half is there.
Okay, yes, I'll take half.
That's good?
Yes.
Hi. 11:30, please.
I only got half a meter.
Okay, 565, please.
So I decided to do an audio recording while I was in Fabricland, and I was in there for a total of 13 minutes and some change, but the audio recording is, a lot of that is going to be edited out. You want to know why? Because it took me 8 minutes before I even had the courage to talk to anybody because I didn't know how it worked. So essentially, there's all these like, I don't know what they're called, spools, that's probably not the right word, but there's like these cardboard boxes, like flat boxes that have the fabric wrapped around them. So they just have a bunch of them just lined up all over the store. 1 minute into getting into the store, I found what I was looking for. So I got this lavender satin fabric, and I went in intending to get because I looked it up online last night. So I went in intending to get the bridal satin, which is $17 per meter. But then when I went in, I saw that there was this other brand called Kate Stitch that usually retails for like $28 per meter, but it was on sale for $10 a meter. So I was like, that's cheaper than what I was intending to spend, so let me get this one. So I think that this is a higher quality satin. I know that price doesn't necessarily equal quality, but I'm just assuming this is like a higher quality satin that usually sells for $28, but it was only on sale for $10. So then I asked somebody, how does this work? Like, I've never been here before. How do I do this? And she told me, just pick it up off the shelf and bring it to a cutting station. So I brought it to the cutting station and I asked for 1 meter because I thought you had to buy at least a meter. So I was like, that's $10, who cares? But then the person asked me what I was gonna be using it for, and I said that I was gonna be lining a hat. And so she's like, you don't have to buy a full meter. You can just buy half a meter, like if you want. So I was like, oh, okay. So then I bought half a meter, which is only $5. $5. So then I bring it to the cash. But because I had initially said that I wanted 1 meter, when she filled out the receipt, like the person at the cutting station, she had written $10, which would be for a full meter. So then when I went to cash out, they were charging me for a full meter. And then I was like, no, I only ordered half a meter. And then they fixed it, and then they charged me $5 plus tax, which is $5.65. So yay, I got me some satin. This is like the wrong side, so this isn't like the shiny side. Let me unfold it real quick. So like this is the shiny side, if you can see like the sun reflecting off of it. So yeah, I got me some satin, and then we're gonna go home and we're gonna start crocheting. Okay, it is several hours later. It is 6:51 p.m. and I've been home for a while. So I began my errands at about 2:40 p.m. and after one of Michael's and Fabricland, I got home at about 3:50 p.m. meaning I've been home for about 3 hours. So when I came home, I decided to have something to eat, and by that I mean popcorn. So I had my popcorn, and then I'm like, cool, I'm good, Gucci, let me start crocheting, except for the fact that For this part of the video, I basically want to do a time lapse of me crocheting this hat, but I don't have space on my camera to film for 4, 5, 6 consecutive hours. So essentially, I wanted to find a way to record directly onto my external hard drive instead of on my camera's SD card. And that essentially took me 3 hours to figure out. It's a whole bunch of technical stuff that you probably don't care about, but I've figured it out. And so yay, it's almost 7 o'clock and I'm finally gonna start this hat. But before I do that, I just want to talk about a couple things. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the crochet hooks. So this is the 5mm hook that I've had for years that I was telling you guys about earlier. I actually have 2 of them. They're 2 of the exact same hook. Yet I went out and bought another 5mm hook today. And that's because I prefer the shape of the Susan Bates hooks. So I'm gonna have to put a picture on the screen because looking at it from this far away isn't really gonna help. But with this generic hook that I have, like it doesn't have a name brand on it, so I don't know who made this. But on this hook, the actual inside of the hook, it's very curved, like it's a very rounded inside edge. Meanwhile, the Susan Bates one has a very sharp angle, and that for me just makes it easier to catch the yarn, and I crochet so much faster with like pointy crochet hooks rather than curved ones. So I've used this one for years and years and years and years and years, and I've made lots of things with it. And the thing is, my most common hook that I use is my 6.5mm, which is a Susan Bates. But now if I'm gonna start crocheting more things with acrylic yarn versus plush yarn, then I'm gonna start using a 5mm a lot more. So if I'm going to do that, then I wanna have a hook that I know that I really, really like. So I bought this one. And then the second thing I want to talk about before we start is the tester hat that I made. So earlier in this video, I said that I made a red version of the hat that I'm about to make right now as a tester so that my first time ever making this type of hat wasn't with the one that I'm going to gift somebody. So this is it. And so as you can see, it's red, white, and burgundy, maroon, whatever you call that color. And I think it's cute. The only thing that I'm going to change with the new hat is with this one, you can see that the color changes. I changed every single row. But what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to change every other row. So you see how this is white, red, white, red? What I'm going to do is white, white, red, red. White, white, red, red. That way the boxes will look taller instead of just like little strips of color. It'll be like boxes of color, if that makes any sense. Not that I think this looks bad. It's just not the look that I had envisioned in my head. So let me just put this on real quick so you can see what it looks like. And it matches my hair. Excuse the pieces. Actually, let me take this off real quick. This hat isn't finished. I don't know if you can see, but I ran out of red yarn. So it's basically done. I was just working on the brim and then I ran out of red yarn. So the hat isn't completely finished, but the one that we're about to make is gonna look a lot like this, just purple. So I have it on. Excuse my colors that are still attached. I still have the white and the burgundy still attached to the hat because the hat isn't done. But yeah. This is essentially what it's gonna look like, but purple. And the final thing that I just wanna say, whenever I'm crocheting, I'm always usually watching TV or YouTube or something. So my camera is here, but my TV is over here. So for the duration of this time lapse, I'm gonna be looking this way. Cool. So now let me take the label off of my new crochet hook. And let's get crocheting. Okay, sorry for the terrible audio quality right now. That sound, that's my Mac fan, and I'm using my Mac mic, so sorry. But I just wanted to show you that I'm finished the crown. So this is like the width. Which way is the right way? Oh my gosh, I'm confusing myself. This is gonna be the outside, the side that I'm showing you. This is like the crown, and then now I'm going to work downward. Basically, we're done doing increases and we're gonna work down. So this is 6 rows, and then I'm gonna work down 10 more rows for a total of 16. And then the last 2 rows are the ruffles. So, yay. So it's 7:53. So I'd say I took like a little break. You saw me leave the room, come back. So let's call that 7 minutes. And I started at about 7 o'clock and it's 7:53. So subtract 7, that'll be 46. So it took me 46 minutes to do the top part of the hat. Now we're gonna do the sides. I'm just gonna record this on my phone mic because I feel like the Mac mic isn't very good. I made a mistake. In the row before this, so my clusters, or like my color clusters, are in groups of 4. And I somehow, at the beginning of the previous round, made 7, which means I have to undo the whole previous round so that I can fix that. Like, I don't know how I did 7. Did I do 7 anywhere else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Like this, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that because it's too far away, but it's 7. Take my word for it, it's 7. So now I have to undo the whole previous row because I made a mistake. So that's fun. Okay, I've caught back up to where I was, and it took about 9 minutes, so not too shabby. Now let's continue. Also, it's getting a lot darker because the sun is setting. Let me fix the lighting a little bit. I think that's better, but I'm going to have to probably continue to brighten it as the night comes upon us. Okay, more crocheting. Okay, it is 9:33 p.m., which means it's been about an hour and 11 minutes, and I'm done the, I don't know, body of the hat. And now I just have to work on the brim. So I'm just gonna try it on real quick to see if it fits. I don't know how big my friend's head is. It's not like I measured her head. So I'm just measuring it for myself because I feel like we have similar head sizes. Or if anything, my head might be bigger than hers. Like, I'd rather the hat be too big than too small. Like, I don't want it to not go on her head. So I'm sizing it for my head and it should fit. So let me take my hair down real quick and I'm going to see if it fits. It should, because that's the same amount of rows I did for the red one. So, oh, yeah. Look at that. That's so cute. Okay, so it covers the ears and everything. She's gonna have really warm ears. Nice. And so now I need to work on the brim. So the frills are only 2 rows, but you have to do 3 double crochets, or at least the way I do it to get it to like frill up is I do 3 double crochets in each stitch. So right now there's 70 in this row. So then you take that and multiply by 3. So now you have 210. And then for the second row, you have to do 3 again. So now you have 630. So the next 2 rows are gonna be over 800 stitches. So it takes a long time to do the last 2 rows. So we're gonna start that now. Okay, I am done now. You probably just saw me leave my room and come back. That's because I couldn't find any scissors. So I just went and found some scissors so that I can cut off the yarn. So I'm gonna cut the light purple. And then the dark purple somehow ended up on the outside, which is wrong, but that's easily fixable. Where did I put my hook? Got it. So I'm literally just gonna pull it to the inside and then cut it. Cool. And then the white. Nice. So let's try it on real quick. Oh, this is actually kind of loose. It's looser than this one. And I think this one, I used a bunch of mismatching yarn. I don't think loose is bad. I don't know. Once again, I said I'd rather it be bigger than smaller. But, like, even if you look at them side by side, the purple one is wider. And I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's the hook. Like, yes, my gray hooks from before, wherever they are. I don't know where they are. Hold on. These hooks, as I said, the actual hook shape is different. So maybe this hook makes tighter stitches than this one. I don't know. It could also be the type of yarn I'm using, because this one was just a mix match. This was just scrap yarn that I had, and I know that the white yarn is Pound of Love, but the red and the burgundy, the red yarn I've probably had since high school. Like, I've probably had it since I was 16. I've had this red yarn for 9 years, and I've had this burgundy yarn for about a year and a half. So I don't remember what brands they are. So it could just be like I was using different size yarns, and that's why it came out different. I don't know. Either way, it's kind of loosey-goosey, but I'd rather it be too big than too small. Plus, I'm going to line it, so then that will make it a little bit smaller. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's that. I think it's really cute. Love the ruffle. I obviously have to weave in the ends, but I'll show you how much yarn I have left. So like the main color of this hat is the light purple. So I don't know if I'm going to explain this very well, but I used light purple in every row, but I used white in every other row and dark purple in every other row. So it's like, for example, this row is white and light purple, and this row is light purple and dark purple. So light purple is in every single row. Meanwhile, the other colors are just in every other row. So when it comes to the light purple, this is how much I have left. And then the dark purple and the white I seem to have less of than the dark purple, which doesn't make sense because that does make sense because, as I said, the last two rows have more stitches than the rest of the hat. So for the second last row, I used these two colors. And then for the last row, I used these two colors. And the last row has the most rows. So the color that I used the most was light purple. Second most was white. And then third most was dark purple. So yeah, if I was going to make another hat, I would have to make the dark purple my main color. Because if I made the light purple my main color again, then I would definitely run out. So yeah, now I have to line the hat. But before I do that, I have other things that I need to do that are not going to be part of this vlog. Essentially, I need to edit a reel for my Instagram, like for my personal Insta, not my crochet Insta. Long story short, I've been posting a reel every single day for over a year. I started June 28th of last year, and it's now July 15th. So it's been a year and like 2 weeks or something, and I've never missed a day. And it's currently 11:03 p.m. So I can't miss a day. So I need to quickly edit a video in less than an hour, which shouldn't take a long time because it's a reel. So the brim of the hat took me about an hour and a half because I started it at about 9:33 and it's 11:04 now. So it took me about an hour and a half just to do those two rows. So all in all, I started at about 7 o'clock and it's just after 11 o'clock. So it took me like 4 hours to make this hat, which is approximately what I said. I said 4 or 5 hours, turned out to be 4. And we're not done because we still have to line it. So yeah, but I'll come back to you probably after midnight because I need to finish it tonight. I can't wake up tomorrow morning and do it. So it's probably going to be like after midnight when we come back and line this hat. But yeah, see you when I'm done with my reel. Okay, it is 12:38 a.m. and I am in a different spot. This is my brother's room, or his old room, I guess. He doesn't live here anymore. So he has a little desk here, and I have my materials. I have most things I need, but not everything because I don't sew. So I'm literally just going to be winging this. I did watch a tutorial on YouTube, so I kind of sort of know what to do, but like I don't have a sewing machine. Like I'm going to be doing everything by hand, and I'm gonna try and get like a overhead shot of everything that I'm doing, and I'm just gonna try my best. And if the lining doesn't look good, then I just won't put it in. Like if I put it in and it's not good, I'll just cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so before I start, I just wanted to show you the red hat and show you the inside. So you can see all these loose pieces of yarn, and that's because I just didn't carry it through. And on the purple hat, I did carry it through. And the reason why I didn't is because I'm gonna line this one with like a red satin. So it's like you're literally not gonna see it. And carrying it through, I don't know. I feel like I'm just like, it's not that I'm bad at it, it just takes me longer. So if I'm gonna cover it up, then I typically don't show it. Or like if I'm making an amigurumi doll and this is gonna be on the inside of the doll, well, you're not gonna see it. So it doesn't need to look pretty because you're never gonna see it. So yeah, I've never lined anything before, but I planned to line this so I didn't do any carry through. And I don't know if that also makes it tighter. And why it's smaller, I don't know. But I just wanted to point that out. With this hat, there is a little bit of non-carried through yarn vertically when I was changing between the dark purple and the white. And then I also have these tail of the magic circle and when I initially added each color, but it does not matter because we're putting a lining in this. So I think I have all my materials. I was running around my house to see if I could find everything. So I wasn't even thinking about like thread colors and stuff. So the only thread that I thought I had was this black, but then I went into my parents' room and I was able to find this pink that I think will look better. So I'm gonna use this little pink spool of yarn. Then I was like, oh, how am I gonna keep everything in place? Luckily, I, for some reason, have these pins that are supposed to keep things in place. Like, I don't know. These are, I just raided my parents' bedroom and they had this. And then I have this itty bitty sewing needle. Don't even know if you can see that, but it's there. And I was panicking because I'm like, the only needles I have are tapestry needles and that would just make the holes way too big and blah, blah, blah. And then I have a measuring tape. And then I know that like what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to like have like a template paper that you draw on and then you put the template on your actual fabric, draw with like some special pencil or whatever, and then cut. I don't have that. What I do have is this dry erase marker. And this is what we're using. We're completely DIYing because I don't actually know what I'm doing. And one thing I realized, this is facing the wrong way. So this is like the shiny side, which is going to be the side that's going to show. So my work needs to be on the non-shiny side, like all my drawing and sewing and everything like that. So what I need to do is flip it and then fold so the shiny side is on the inside. So how I'm going to do this is I don't want the lining to come to the brim, so it's essentially going to end right here. And I'm just going to attempt to figure out how to do this. And in case I need to make multiple attempts, I don't want to like cut this in the middle of the fabric. I want to cut it on the end so that if I do it wrong, I can try again. So I haven't weaved in these ends yet. I'll do that later. So essentially, the lining is going to end here and not here. So I'm going to take my marker. And I learned about seam allowance. So I need space above and below so that I can fold over and seam it and sew it. You know what I'm saying. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to, like, this is like the middle. And then it's going to come to about here. And here. Sure. Then I need the pins now, I think. I don't know how this works. I'm using the pins just to keep it together because it is folded and I don't want to cut through one side and not the other side. the pin doesn't want to go in on that side. I also need to figure out, I'd say like here is where I need to cut for the bottom. Do I cut straight across for the bottom? I don't know. So I need to cut here. That's not even a straight line. I don't know what I'm doing. Where's my marker? See how not a straight line that is? That's crazy. I feel like this marker is gonna bleed through, which is bad, but I don't know. Let's see. So we're just gonna cut now, I guess. Okay. That is very not good and very jagged, but that's why we have the seam allowance, I think. So I'm going to take these pins out of there, and now I'm going to pin them onto this. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to do the hand sewing, and I don't know how I'm gonna thread this needle because the eye of it is so tiny, but I will find a way. This is gonna take some time. I had it, then I lost it. Ugh, I keep getting it through and then I can't grab it on the other side. I'm gonna have to thread this off camera because trying to like keep it in frame and get it through, it's not gonna happen. So give me a sec. Got it. So I don't know what the different stitches are called, but I'm essentially gonna try and sew it the way a sewing machine would. I saw a tutorial on it once and now I can't remember what the person did. Or no, I think I remember. Now my thread is knotted. Oh my gosh. Okay, I was able to unknot it. This is gonna take me forever. It's 1:12 in the morning and I've done like 3 stitches. So I have to sew all the way around and then I have to sew it into the hat. Ooh, this is gonna take a very long time. If I'm going to regularly make hats and line them, I'm gonna need to, 1, learn how to use a sewing machine, and then 2, buy a sewing machine. Like, I don't mind doing this like a one-time thing for my friend, and she doesn't know that I'm doing this. So I hope that she likes it. But like, let's say I added hats to my Etsy shop and like I offered a satin lining. Oof, I'd only be able to make 1 a day. So if those orders started rolling in, yeah, I'd need to get a sewing machine. I would also need to get the proper tools like the template paper and the proper pencil and all that stuff. And like, I don't sew, like I crochet. That's my thing. So I don't know, like I would offer crochet hats, but I'm not sure about offering the lining. And yes, just something from before, the marker did bleed through to the other side, but it doesn't really matter because that's like in the seam. But yeah, using something like a marker, not a good idea. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to finish. It looks like I'm running out of thread. Okay, so I'm gonna make a knot and cut it. And then I have to thread this needle again. Once again, I'm gonna do it off camera. Okie dokie, and we're back. Okay, so the seam is obviously not perfect, and the two sides are not perfectly aligned, but I still think I can make it work. And I'm okay if the liner ends up making the hat smaller, because the hat is a bit big. I need my pins again. That's another thing. When it comes to these tails, I don't even need to weave them in because I can just sew them under the liner. So I don't even need to weave them. This light pink one, let me get my crochet hook real quick. Okay, I'm back. I know I just called this light pink, but it's light purple. That's what I meant. I can just bring it in. And is that really noticeable? I don't think it is, to have those little pieces there. So I can just tie a knot just to ensure that they don't go anywhere. And then literally seam it. You're not gonna see that, I don't think. But then again, I'm not a professional, so we'll see. And I know that when it came to sewing this, I should have had like the outward line and the inward line, and I should have sewed on the inward line. But I didn't do that because I figured that the marker was gonna bleed through, and then I feel like you would have been able to see it. Like, you're not gonna see these, but if I had put dots here, like, I feel like you would have seen it. So I just didn't have all the materials because I don't sew. So let me figure out how I'm going to do this. Something I saw someone do that I want to try. So I have these binder clips. So I'm going to start by using the remaining thread that I have on this needle. I don't even know where to attempt to start. I just stuck myself. Oh my gosh. I'm wearing a band-aid now. Okay, let's see if I can finish this without drawing more blood. This is not the stitch I intended to do. I don't know what it's called. Maybe it's called a whip stitch. That sounds maybe right. It's not the stitch I intended to do, but it's the one that I don't know, it's the easiest one, the one I'm most familiar with. So it's not gonna look completely uniform, but it's on the inside of the hat, so I don't know if it matters very much. And also I'm using a color that's very similar to the color of the yarn and the color of the satin. So I really don't think it's gonna be that noticeable. Like, I don't think my friend is gonna be looking at the stitches and being like, oh my gosh, this one is further apart than that one. Like, nah. My camera is dying, so I'm gonna need to plug it in. BRB. Okay, I took about a 15-minute break because my camera was acting up, but we're back. So let's continue sewing. And this yarn is now too short, so I'm going to cut it. I already tied my knot, and now I need to thread it again. Once again, doing that off camera. Okay, and the tail from the last piece of thread I used, I'm literally just going to tuck it under so it won't be visible. It'll be under the liner. Actually, I just made a very big mistake. You know how I'm trying to keep like a little bit of seam allowance on each side? I sewed, look at how much this flap is. I sewed basically into the center. Oh my gosh. So I could just keep going and then there'd be this little thing here. Oh my gosh, what did I do? I can still make it work. It's not gonna be pretty, but then again, who's looking at the inside of the hat? So it's 2:27 a.m. right now. We move. I know what I did wrong, and I'm gonna fix it moving forward. I folded over way too much as I went along without realizing it. But it's okay because it's only like this quarter of the hat and I can make it work. I can make it work. I just need to pay closer attention to what I'm doing. Time to thread again. Okay, I've gotten all the way around and I'm just making a double knot just to make sure that everything is secure. I don't know how to hide this end. Would I just go inside and then come out the hat and then cut it? And then when I tuck it in, it'll be underneath the lining. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so me basically sewing into the middle of this, I thought that I could just leave it, but I can't. It makes the hat so shallow. Like, I'm just gonna take a picture of myself with my phone, if I can find my phone. Okay, I'm shooting a video instead. Like, as you can see, like, it doesn't sit right. And like, there's so much space between the liner and the top of the hat. So I'm basically gonna have to resew that. Okay, so essentially, I don't know exactly how this is gonna work, but I need to cut up until I'm not in the middle anymore. And these gigantic scissors are the only scissors that I have right now. I really thought I was done. I really thought I was done, but that mistake I made at the beginning, I thought I could get away with it and I cannot. You want to know something? I have tiny scissors. Let me go get them. Here are my tiny scissors. Should be a lot easier now. I think I might have to go all the way to here. So I think when I turned at this middle seam, I think that's when I got messed up. Okay, so I've gotten to this corner seam and now I'm not gonna crochet into the middle. I'm just gonna crochet over the edge. Like, do you see this line right here? That is how I crocheted it along here. Not crocheted, sewed. I sewed it along here instead of here. Yeah, but I'm fixing it. So now I need to thread this needle. Okie dokie. Okay, now I'm tying off for what is hopefully the last time. Let me do a triple knot because that's just not looking secure to me. One last thing I'm gonna do, because like right now this can just not come out, but like it can do this. And I don't want it to do that. So I'm just gonna put a couple of stitches here so that it will stay in the hat. Oh, I might have cut this too short, but I'm gonna try to use it because I do not feel like threading this again. So let me try and figure out where the middle is. So the middle is like here, and this part I'm just winging. I don't know how to do this, especially with thread that's this short, but I'm gonna try. So I literally just passed it through and then I'm gonna tie a knot. I don't know. So it's attached now, can't come out. And now I'm gonna put it on myself and see what it looks like. Okay, so I have the hat here. And when I put it on, it's smaller, like it's not as wide as before, but the satin makes it slippery. So like, I don't know, it doesn't feel secure. I don't know, like I feel like a gust of wind could take this off my head. I don't know, I think it's cute. I think it's cute, but I was making this to be like a winter hat, but I guess it's just gonna be like a cute like accent piece hat. I don't know. I feel like the liner ruined it. Like it looks fine, I guess. It's just the material is slippery. And the reason I chose this material is because the best way I know how to explain it. You know how like black women, when they're like asleep, they tend to like wear a bonnet or use like a satin pillowcase, or like black men, if they're gonna wear a hat, usually they wear a do-rag under it. So essentially like material like this can like really dry out your hair. So it's like, let's say you're going to sleep for 8 hours, you don't want to put your head on a cotton pillowcase. So you either replace your pillowcase or you wear something that's satin on your head, right? So it's like, if this is going to be a hat that she wears on a regular basis, because if this is just like an accent piece hat, that's one thing. But it's like, my initial thought was to make this a winter hat, and I know it's July, but like we live in Canada, winter's gonna come back around, right? So my plan was like, if this became her go-to winter hat, I didn't want the material to like dry out her hair, which is why I wanted to put the satin. But I just feel like the satin makes it slippery. And also I feel like it looks kind of frumpy a little bit because the liner is quite a bit smaller than the hat. I don't know. I'm gonna give this to her tomorrow, but I'm gonna tell her that I will make her another one without the liner and also make it smaller. I think it's potentially the yarn or the new hook. I don't know, but I know very easily how to make this smaller. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed because I was really excited to make this and it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted. Like, it's cute, but it's a bit big and it's slippery. I don't know. I'm gonna give it to her tomorrow and I hope that she likes it. Like, look at it. It looks very wide, and that's because it is. But I don't have enough light purple yarn to make this exact hat again, but smaller. I would have to go and buy more yarn, or I would need to make it with dark purple as the main color. But I feel like this lighter shade of purple is more like, when I say purple is her favorite color, I'm referring to the lighter purple. Also, there's just a pin hanging out of the hat, so that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very confident in my crochet skills. I'm not very confident in my sewing skills because I have none, but yeah, I'm gonna probably have to make her like this. The actual crocheting of the hat took about 4 hours. So I could make another one tomorrow and then give it to her the next day. So the day after her birthday. This is just, I don't know. I was really excited about making this because the red one was the perfect size. And I don't know if it's the yarn or the hook. I feel like it's the hook. And I don't know why I decided to use a new hook on a project that I'm making for someone else. Like, if I was just making this for myself, like, oh, it's not perfect, but it's fine, I can make it work. But I'm making it for someone else, so obviously I want it to be the best it can be. And I was trying a whole bunch of new techniques for something that I'm going to give as a present. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. It's slippery. Like, it's slippery. Oh, I'm so disappointed. It is 3:28 a.m. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it's even functional as a hat. A gust of wind could blow this away. Oh, I'm so upset. I don't know if I want to give this to her because I could just cut out the lining, but then the hat is too big. Ugh. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to give this to her. Because let's say her head is smaller than mine, then the hat might not be too shallow. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably going to give her this, but then I'm also going to make her another one. I'm not going to film the making of the second one, but like, I'll make her another one because this is not giving what I wanted it to give. So yeah, anyways. Maybe I'm just in my feelings because it's late and I'm tired. I don't know. It's 3:31 in the morning. I'm going to go to my bed and yeah, I'll see you in the morning when I'm on my way to see her and give this to her. I guess it's technically morning, but you know what I mean. When the sun is up. I remade the hat. This is the one I made last night with the lining and everything. And this is the new one. And if I hold them side by side, or if I lay them one on top of the other, you can see that the one I made last night is quite a bit bigger. So I made this one, I made it smaller. Essentially, it's the same number of rows. The only thing I did is I did one less increase row. So like the crown of it is smaller, which makes the overall hat smaller. So it's still 16 rows down and then 2 rows of ruffle. So a total of 18. It's just with this one, I did 6 rows of increase. And with this one, I did 5 rows of increase. But the pattern, other than that, is exactly the same. And I haven't weaved in the ends yet, but I'll do that in a second. So essentially, this is not the quality that I wanted to give my friend. So I knew that I had to remake it. And this one, I'm not gonna line it because I'm a good crocheter. I'm not a good sewer or seamstress or whatever the right word is. Like, I'm okay experimenting with things that I'm gonna keep for myself. Like, I might find a way to wear this. I might just cut out the lining and wear it as like an oversized hat, right? But when it comes to things that I'm either giving to other people or selling to other people, I don't want to give them an experiment gone wrong. So I remade it. It took me about 4 hours. It's currently 5:55 p.m. I started this at 11:30 a.m., but I took breaks and like ate food and all that stuff. So all in all, it took me about 4 hours, which is the same amount of time as it took me to make this hat minus the lining. So today is my friend's birthday. However, I didn't end up seeing her today because I was remaking this hat. So let me explain my relationship with this person. This is a friend of mine that I've had since I was 13 years old. And we met through track and field. So remember last night I was talking about that reel I had to post? Oh, track and field. So I am a track and field athlete. So is my friend. And so we met when we were both in like the 7th grade because we both did track. We were on different teams, but we would compete against each other all the time. And then when we both started university, we ended up going to the same university. And now we've both graduated from university, but we're both still on the same club track team. So essentially, I should have had track practice today, but I didn't go because I was crocheting. So essentially my plan, if this hat had worked out, was to go to practice and surprise her with the gift, but I didn't go to practice today. So essentially I'm going to weave in the ends of this, probably off camera because that's not very interesting. I'm going to put the finishing touches on this hat, and then tomorrow on Wednesday, I'm going to go to practice, and that is when I will give her the new, not gigantic, not something that's going to fall off your head hat. So she is going to get this hat the day after her birthday, but that's okay because I'm actually proud of this and I'm not proud of this. So I'd rather remake it and give her something that I know she can and will actually use. So I'll see you guys tomorrow when it's time to give the gift. Oh, actually, before we skip to tomorrow, I just want to show you guys the yarn that I have left. So I was saying that I thought that if I remade the hat, I would run out of the light purple yarn, and I didn't. So this is how much I have left after making 2 hats. And then this is how much white I have left. And this is how much of the dark purple I have left. So as you can see, there's different amounts because I used mostly light purple, and then the second most I used was white, and the third most I used was the dark purple. So yeah, this was enough to make 2 hats. And if I switch up the colors, as in use majority of this, then this, and then the least amount of this, I might be able to squeeze a 3rd hat if I make the main color dark purple. But anywho, this yarn has been able to do a lot for me, and each ball was only $6.99. Let's round it up to $7. So let's say $21 of yarn, and I've made 2 hats. Well, I could make a 3rd one. So yeah, I think $21 of yarn and 3 potential hats, I think that's a good bang for my buck. But yeah, now let's skip to tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day. It is currently 1:43 p.m., so I'm running late, but we're gonna get there. I should get there before she leaves. So essentially, I'm on my way to track practice, and as I said yesterday or the day before, somewhere earlier in this video, me and my friend are on the same track team, so we practice together usually 5 days a week, but I didn't go yesterday because I was finishing the hat, right? So I'm on my way to practice. I'm gonna be late. My GPS says I'm not gonna get there till 2:28, but I will get there. I will get there. And so what I've done today so far is I've stopped at the dollar store. I bought a gift bag, and as I was like walking to the checkout, I was like, oh my gosh, let me like fill this bag a little bit more. So I got her some chocolate and candy as well, and I have put it all in here. And we're on our way. I'm gonna see her in about 43 minutes according to my GPS. And so yeah, I'll talk to you when I get there. Update, I'm here at the track and she's not. So I don't know when I'm gonna see her. Tomorrow, maybe Friday. We have a meet this weekend, so I guess I'll see her then. But like, I really thought she would be here, and she's not. So I guess the surprise has to wait. Update, it's 4:16 p.m. and I texted my friend, and so she hasn't been to practice yet. She had work this morning, so she's coming to the track late, and she's currently on her way, so I will be able to give it to her today. I have something for you. Yes. Okay. Oh my God. Happy birthday. Thank you. I can open it? Yes. Okay. It's custom made by me. Oh my gosh, you fit. Oh my gosh. I was very nervous about that. Oh my gosh. And I also got you some sweet treats. Some sweet treats. Mm-hmm. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. So my surprise was can't talk. So my surprise was a success. She really likes it. She especially likes the little frill. So I'm glad that I added that. And yeah, that's this vlog. It's a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be, but I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.